Out of my work clothes and into something a little bit more appropriate for some landscape photography. G'day, this afternoon I've come down to Bells Rapids, which is at the foot of the Perth Hills. I don't know this area particularly well, but hopefully there's still water flowing under the bridge. So let's go and have a bit of an explore. Absolutely beautiful down here. There's water flowing under the bridge, which is just fantastic. And there's enough water to be rolling over the rocks, and there's a potential here for a really interesting image. One thing you'll have to excuse though is these flies. With the warmer weather, the flies are definitely out for summer, and I'm being pounced with them at the moment, so sorry about that. One of the things I talk about quite a bit is composition, or finding a composition, and I think it's really important. I think it's almost as important, if not more important, than the technical details of camera settings and so forth. So one of the things that I do to try and make sure that I've got the right composition is I get to my location early. I got here at around about 4:15. It's around about 5 o'clock now, so I've spent about 45 minutes taking some video, but exploring the area. Sun doesn't set until about 6:30, so I've still got another hour and a half. But I'm going to use that time to explore all the areas up and down the river to make sure that I've found the composition that I'm most happy with. So, having said that, I'm going to go up this way and see whether we can find a nice composition for an image. I've been having a bit of an explore on the eastern side of the bridge. And I reckon there are going to be at least one image that I can pick up here. The challenge is that you've got these small little rapids that are, as the water's flowing through the rocks. And there are two things that make it challenging. One is this white substance that you can see on the rock behind me. One, I don't know how that's going to turn out in the image, and two, it's quite slippery and makes it difficult to walk on. The other thing is, to capture these scenes, I'm going to have to be right on top of the gap in the rock where the water's flowing through, perching myself as far to the end as I possibly can, of course, without falling in. And that's going to be a challenge in itself. Anyway, when the light goes down, I'll come back here and we'll see whether we can pick up an image. So I think I've found two potential spots on the north side of the bank. There's still a little bit of light, so I've still got time to go across to the south side and have a bit of a look. I think I've found a potential spot on the south side, so I'm just going to go across now and check that out. Let's try that out, eh? Set my camera up for my first shot. I've come a little bit further back from the waterfall that I was originally going to shoot because I've got this little pool area in front of me. I'm on top of some a little rocky outcrop, and I'm right at the end here, perched, making sure that I don't fall into the water. I've got the polariser on the front of the 17-35. There it is there. And the reason for the polariser this time is to take the glare off the water. Even though the sun is behind me, there is a bright area of sky in front of me, and that bright light is reflecting off the water. So with the polariser engaged, it means that the water is much darker, which is really good, and it means that the foam then really pings off the water with the black background. So I'm on f14 and I've got a shutter speed of half a second, ISO 100. So I'll just take a photo, I'll just take that shot with the cable release, and then we'll have a look to see what that turns out like. Yeah, actually that's not too bad. I'm going to try and mess around with my settings a little bit to get a slower shutter speed. And therefore a longer exposure. I just want to point out where I've focused my image. It's somewhere between 1/3 to a half of the way up the image. I try and find a point of contrast so it's easier for the camera to focus. And you'll notice that I use back focusing, which means that I can focus my image, and then I don't have to touch my focus again if I don't touch my camera, and then it's just a case of grabbing my cable release here and taking the photo. So I find that setup for my Nikon much easier, and I know that a lot of other cameras do that. I also want to just point out here on the right hand side of the histogram there, you can see that I'm clipping my highlights, and that is coming from the little bit of sky just at the top of the image there. So I don't actually really care about that part of the image because I'm going to crop that out in post-processing. So I'm not that worried that I'm clipping some of my highlights because I know where that is. I'm exposing for the rest of the image. I'm going to try and go for a whole second now. So this shutter speed, or this exposure, is going to be a second long. Let's see how that one goes. Yep, that's nice. I've come back round the pool where I was before, closer to where that water is coming through the rocks. So what I'm going for in my composition is I've got the water coming through the rocks, so it's at the top right hand corner of the image, flowing down to the bottom left hand side of the image. Now the water flowing will create a leading line that will lead the viewer's eye from the bottom left to the top right, and also the edge of the rocks will help that also. I'm on ISO 100 At the moment my shutter speed is 1.6 of a second and I'm on f13. With the sun now well and truly gone behind the mountain or the hill behind me, and the light is fading quite quickly, I'm having to change my settings quite rapidly. But I'm going to try and keep my f-stop somewhere between f8 and f16. That's where I'm going to get the sharpest image, and I'm also going to get the largest depth of field. And in this case, in this particular setup, I'm not going to need a particularly large depth of field. So I could easily go f8, f9 and get everything in focus. If there was something really, really close to the camera, then I'd have to consider going up to f13, f14. But I don't want to go above f16 because that's when my image starts to soften, and I try and avoid that. So this particular shot that I'm going to take is at f13. I'm a little bit underexposed, but you know what? I don't mind doing that because I know I can bring the detail back. Excuse the noise, that's the train close by that's going. I'm now having a look at my shadows, and you can see that I could be losing a little bit of detail there. So I'll just bring that up a little bit. I'll change from f13 to f11. That's pretty good. This exposure is going to be for 2 seconds, which, yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with that. So here we go. That's actually not bad. With those 2 shots taken, I'm quite happy with that. I'm going to quickly grab my gear, get over to the other side of the bank where I saw at least one other shot, maybe 2, before the light disappears. I'm not holding my breath that the light is going to be on my side here. I've got a feeling that the light is dying quickly and the mosquitoes are coming out. So this may just be a quick dash. I've made it to the other side of the bank, and I'm losing a lot of light very, very quickly. As you can see behind me, the sun is well and truly set, and so therefore the sky in front of me has darkened quite a bit. I've had enough time to set up for one last shot that I found earlier on when I was here. That shot being just a small little trickle of or falling of water through smaller rocks here. So I've set it up as far in front of those rocks as possible, and like my previous image, the water's falling from one corner of the image through to the other side. This time it's from the middle of the image through to the bottom left-hand corner of the image, and that will create lines that will lead the viewer's eye into the image, which is what I'm trying to do. Also, just in front of the camera, some of the foam is actually swirling around, so if I'm lucky I'm going to get some sort of a pattern just in front of the camera for some foreground interest, which will be good. Anyway, hopefully you can pick that up from the back display there, but as you can see I'm losing light quite a bit. I'm on f9, trying to increase my aperture to try and get as much light in as possible, and at the moment my shutter speed is 8 seconds, and I may have to even increase that to 10 seconds depending on how this image goes. So let's not delay, let's take this image and see how it goes. So I'm not going, with 8 seconds I'm not going to get any definition in the water, but I should be able to pick up some of the patterns. I don't know whether that's going to come up well enough on the display, but I'll show you after post-process. I'm going to increase it to 10 seconds, and then I'm going to do another shot, and I'll choose the best one out of all of that. There it is there. Anyway, that's probably it for tonight. I've run out of time, and I've definitely run out of light, and the mozzies are coming in pretty quickly. It was the flies before, but now it's the mosquitoes, and they're coming in pretty thick and fast, so I'm going to get out of here. If you've enjoyed this video, please give it a like. If it's the first time to my channel and you like this sort of content, then please stick around and subscribe below so you're notified when I upload my next video. Again, a massive thanks to all those of you who are sharing my videos on social media. The effect that has on my views and subscribers is just incredible. So I really do truly thank you for all your efforts there. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the images that I took and the area, Bells Rapids, in the comments below. So please do leave a comment and share your thoughts. But until next time, thanks very much for watching.